Welcome to the Soul Touched by Dogs podcast, the show for dog lovers who see dogs not as toys or tools, but wise souls worth our respect and care. I'm Anke Herman, and I'm your host. I talk to awesome humans, people who do great work for dogs and their people. So come and join us for today's conversation. Hello, hello. Hello and welcome, Lauren. I'm super excited to have you here.
Hi, Anka. Thank you. I've been really looking forward to this. My name's Lauren. Obviously, yeah.
Well, thank you. Well, let's start out, let people know where that beautiful accent comes from and what's your business with dogs.
Thank you. So I'm from Belfast, Northern Ireland, and I'm the owner and founder of Lead with Luna. I start off with dog walking. I still do that, and I do one-to-one dog training as well. I started that about 8 years ago. Whenever I got wee Luna, she was a wee rescue. So her mum, she was found as a stray and pregnant, so she was in the pound, and we weren't even expecting to get Luna. We didn't even know if there was any pups left, so we just went up not expecting anything, and we got her. So it all really started with her taking her to puppy classes, and was with my old dog too, my German Shepherd. He had a lot of issues and didn't want to repeat any same mistakes with Luna. Learned a lot from him. And yeah, after taking her to the puppy classes, that really got me into the dog training. And I started the dog walking first to give me more experience, and I gradually built it up.
Well, that's fascinating because I think a lot of people might have this idea. It's like, oh, I really enjoy this, but not many people actually do. So, and the dog walking, it does make sense. And still, my little business mind is going, how do you get somebody to trust you with their dog when you're sort of first starting out, when you don't really have much experience? How do you get your first client?
Well, before I started, I got my DBS police background check. So I got that, and I got my insurance, and got a couple of qualifications, my first aid. And then it started off very, very local, word of mouth, and then through people in the park. And then I got reviews, and I just gradually built it up really, really slowly over time. And so whenever I go to the meet and greets, I bring everything with me, all the qualifications and the certificates and photographic ID, because I could just be a stranger lying
Yeah.
into their home. So I bring everything with me.
Oh, that's such a good point because see, I'm just so thinking I'd be I'd be such a horrible client. It's like I'd be so worried to kind of leave my dog with somebody. Mm.
But it's really, really surprising. Nobody ever asks for them.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so I have to give it to them and tell them to go through it, have a look. But they would have a wee quick flick through and they would be happy. They base their decision on how the dog reacts to me. If the dog likes me, then they're happy. They don't want to know, they don't need to know anything else. They just base their opinions on me based on their dog.
Oh, well, that's a smart move, I think.
Yeah,
That is a smart move. So what made you then, so you started out sort of thinking you want to kind of get into the dog training. And so what do people what's the most common thing people come to you for?
it would be mainly their dog pulling on the lead, and I get a lot of dog on dog reactivity. Would
Oh,
be those main two. Sometimes would be separation anxiety, but that's very, very rare. But I am really glad it is those, because those are my two favorite um fields to work in. Like, I love teaching loose lead walking, and I love helping with reactivity. It's really, really satisfying because some of it's like the reactivity is really slow progress.
yeah.
And whenever you see the owners put in the work and you see it gradually happening and the difference over time, I love that.
And it does make sense, when you think about when you kind of have the walking as the base,
Hmm.
so obviously it's those two things that happen on a walk, right?
Hmm.
So
Yes.
it's almost like, like you could be like on like peaceful walks, right? So that's almost like the headline in a way. What's your favorite case? What's the most kind of emotional or the most impactful transformation you've experienced in a client's dog?
And there's been quite a few. And there's also been ones just with dog walking clients. There's been quite a few transformations as well. Um, just trying to have a wee think. Well, there was one dog, when I first started walking him, it was just initially as a dog walker, he was really reactive and he was pulling the lead, jumping and everything. So I was walking him for quite a while. I do walk and train as well, just normally on my walks. And I told the owner everything that I'd been doing. And she was a planet as well. I've been walking the dog for 2 years now, 2.5 years. Um, and whenever she's been doing the train, she's been sending me videos because I only walk the wee dog once a week. So there's a great difference in him now. He's a lot more calmer, and all the stress signals have all gone down. The panting stopped and the frowning. Like he still has moments. Like he still has his big outbursts every now and again, a couple of times a month, but it would be every single day.
Wow.
And
I
they
mean,
have really, really put in the work.
wow. So they basically you work with the dog, then you tell the owner what to do, and if they continue on the same, basically pulling on the same string, then you really, really see the difference. You know what struck me about this was like if I have a dog who is really reactive and really pulls, it wouldn't occur to me to throw a dog walk under the bus. I would sort of think like, oh my God, I need to kind of get my dog some help with this first
Yes.
before I can get some before I would kind of like put this onto somebody else. So it feels to me it's like, is that common?
Yes, that's really funny. I was talking to my sister about that the other day. Because it's been really warm weather, so I've had to wear shorts, and my legs have bruises, cuts, scratches. I get everybody else, all the other dog walkers seem to get really calm dogs and they do group walks. I get all the wee quirky dogs that just all come to me, so it's all solo walks.
You
But
mind you.
I think I'm a magnet. I must send out some beacon that attracts them.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. But see, that's the thing. It's like I wouldn't have even thought that that was a thing. Like I would have thought if I come to a dog trainer and have a dog that's like reactive and really kind of pulling on the leash, that I'd go and say, well, hey, can we like do some training first? And then when the dog's kind of more easily like does better with the walks, then I would go like, now you can go take him for a walk and not like, hey, I can't handle him, you go do it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it feels a little bit like that.
Yeah, but at least I can't complain. At least it's not boring. It,
Yeah, no, and also you get clients from it, right? So it's almost
yeah,
like, if you can make so actually I remember speaking to somebody, she did that. She had walks and then she would kind of train them on the walks and people would go, oh my God, what you do to the dog? Like he doesn't do whatever he used to do. And so they'd hire her on the back of that. So it's a valid strategy for you, right? It's just like kind of a weird thing from the owner's perspective. But talking about the owner, you were mentioning something I'm really curious about. Like you say, like, okay, yes, it's about the dog, and we also kind of want to take care of the owner. Tell me a
hmm
little bit more about that.
Um, because being a dog owner, if your dog is struggling and has like a lot of issues, and you don't really know where to turn, it can be very isolating. And if you don't know what you need to research, you can find any information online, really detrimental information, and you think you're doing the best that you can. And then further down the line, maybe a few years later, you find out that what you've been doing has been harmful. And that can be really traumatizing for the owner. It's really, really hard to get past that. Luckily with Souse, like whenever I had my German Shepherd, it was like over 15 years ago. There was that dog show, Dog Whisperer, and I would watch it. I never applied anything. Thankfully, I never applied any of the methods or nothing because it didn't sit right. But I still didn't know enough. I wasn't able to walk him or anything. He was still really, really happy indoors, but that's something I still feel really, really bad about that he didn't have, what could have been the full quality of life.
Yeah.
And so I know if I had applied those methods to him back then, today, I think I would need therapy. I would feel so, so bad.
I mean, do owners talk about that? Like when, how, because I mean, I remember like I had one who was like sort of pulling on the lead a lot and whatever. And so there was, yeah, well, the first two, they were all out in the street, but like literally they had to kind of survive on their own. So they would just like, okay, food, rubbish, whatever, like one was kind of like, sort of, and it was kind of, I remember feeling like really embarrassed, I felt really embarrassed walking, like, and you kind of could feel like the eyes, like people watching, like, oh, look at her and can't even control a dog, kind of thing,
Yeah.
And so there's this, and then you get like people dropping comments, right?
Oh, yes.
And you get all the advice and the stuff that isn't said, and all of that. So it's and then sometimes it's kind of almost like, oh, for God's sake, all I wanted was like to have a nice chilled walk with my dog. Like this isn't what I signed up for, kind of thing, So what else is there that people, I mean, these guys haven't had like major kind of issues, but like that leash pulling stuff, that was a thing, and then one wasn't happy alone, like he'd scratch on the door and the neighbor. So it was just that embarrassment, that constant sense of being judged by, people around you. Yeah, that wasn't fun,
Yeah.
So what do your clients tell you in that?
Some of my clients, they would say that they do feel embarrassed and they would dread the walks. And some of the dogs, there was one dog, he was really, really big. And the owner would feel like sick with dread at walking the dog.
Yeah. I mean, especially a big
So they
dog,
would,
right?
and they felt like so. Yeah, because this dog was a Rottweiler, nearly 60 kilos, and yeah, so the owner was. I felt so sorry for her. So I did, and the garden was quite small, so there wasn't even like to make up for walks, big garden and everything. But she had a lot of She admitted that she felt quite embarrassed, and she got a lot of the comments and all, and the unsolicited advice and the funny remarks. So, is he taking you for a walk?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So how, like, what tips would you give somebody, or like, how do you support clients in, through that?
Well, for the likes of that, like whenever they have a garden, I would tell them, don't put so much pressure on yourself to walk the dog every day if it's causing you so much stress, and it can cause a dog stress too. I always recommend just start practicing indoors, just a few minutes here and there. So if you're really busy, it's not going to take up a lot of your time. So it's so easy to practice everything indoors and in your back garden, and then just gradually build back up the walks. But I tell owners, I mean, I felt the same way as well. Walking, even still now, sometimes I'm walking dogs, and I get a lot of comments. Like I walk a Doberman once a week, and every week I hear that dog taking you for a walk and everything. Yeah, like so I experience it too all the time. But now I don't care. It just goes over my head. I'm just like,
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah. I think it's that. It's like, you can't go every time, punch that bloke in the face, so you can't kind of punch everybody in the nose who leaves a stupid comment. So it's like you have to kind of learn to not let it affect you, but
yeah. I'm
I
so
mean,
used to it now that at the very start it used to bother me, but now I just don't care. I just laugh and be like, yeah.
yeah. But I think it's that even that feeling that, oh, it's not just you. I think that makes a big difference already.
Yeah.
like it's like, because everybody, it's always, you feel like it's everybody else has these lovely, calm, chill dogs that just, and I used to get a lot of slack with like a German friend of mine. She'd always say, "Oh well, my dog, I used to kind of, I would never put a leash on her, and she would just kind of walk beside me." And I do that with Leo, and I can kind of I can scan all the rubbish bins around the area,
Yeah.
so it's like, but she'd always like, yeah, well, like, there is that, like, she'll say that, but there is the judgment that comes with it. It's like, oh, you have your dog on the leash, and that's just not fair, and whatever. So there's like that little phrase can set off a whole bunch of,
Yeah.
So yeah. So, and sometimes you might kind of interpret stuff into it that wasn't even meant, or sometimes, well, yeah, those subtle kind of digs were actually there. But I think it's about well, every person and their dog is their own little universe, right?
Yeah. Like even though I'm a dog trainer and everything, like I've got my wee Luna, and that wee dog, she's bunkers. She's great. Like the majority of the time, she's great. She sleeps a lot and all, but she's very reactive indoors to any noises outside. Just getting better. She's brilliant now on her walks and everything. She gets very easily overstimulated, and she picks up on the emotions of everybody around her and everything. And so even as a dog trainer, I mean,
I think even as well, especially as a dog trainer, I'm just thinking it's like, well, the pressure's on you more than, because there's that thing like, well, you should know better. Like, do you feel the pressure that as a dog trainer, I should have a calm, chilled, well-behaved dog?
sometimes I do. Yes, it does enter my head. Um, but with dogs, it can be genetics as well and environment. And I do the best that I can do. And she's a very happy wee dog. So I did used to feel like that, not so much now. And I think it's easier to relate to owners, and then it makes owners feel more comfortable too when you admit that
Yeah.
my dog's not perfect either. I think a perfect dog doesn't really, like a stable dog or like a calm, doesn't really, they're quite rare to come by. Every dog's going to have a quirk.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
I think it's also like what your level of tolerance is, or what you expect from your dog. I think there's a lot there, because I can kind of say, well, I've got a perfect dog, like she's perfect for me,
Yeah,
but yes, she does get overexcited, and yes, when there's somebody at the door, she does bark, and so it's like where other people go, oh yeah, but she's a barker and she's this, so it's like, and for me, she's perfect. I don't care. If
yeah,
she, so it's like, it depends on what you expect from your dog as well. Do you
yeah.
think people expect too much from their dogs?
I think so, yeah. Like for me personally, like for Luna, I don't expect anything from her. As long as she's happy and safe, I'm fine. I have no expectations, and she can do whatever she wants as long as within the realms of safety and her happiness, then I'm happy. But I think owners do put a lot of pressure on their dogs, especially in today, like how society's changing, and it's a lot more of an urban environment. There's too much going on for them, and they get too overstimulated and all. And owners put too much pressure on themselves as well. Like so many times you hear people saying, "I need to walk." Like I was dog walking yesterday. It was really warm, so it was a 15-minute walk in the shade. And I overheard people talking, had this wee tiny black dog. He was saying how he needs to walk his dog every day. And that's a lot of pressure. And then I think it's too much expectation for the dog, because even people need to take a wee break sometimes. So they do. And I think dogs like to have a wee break where they're not expected to do anything.
Yeah, totally.
Hmm.
I totally agree. I mean, I've seen it with my dogs when we lived in a sort of I mean, it was still a small town, but in the historic part of town where it was cool little alleyways, and it was like a lot of noise and a lot of whatever, and now where it's just totally, it's out of town, it's rural, it's all quiet, like
Oh,
it's like day and night for the dogs, especially
oh,
this
that's
one.
lovely.
It was literally, you would like, is that the same dog, who would pull like crazy on the lead? And here he's like, oh. Like he was, I mean, it makes such a difference. But that whole walking, like you've got to walk the dog every day, it's very common, isn't it? I mean, I've been a little sort of more like not obsessed, because I do have a garden now where, they can run around and play. And so there's not that. When I lived in a place where they literally had to go out to pee, well,
Yeah,
then, yeah, you have to take them out, right?
yeah.
So, but for a lot of people, I also say this, like, oh yeah, but my dog needs exercise.
Hmm.
What's your response to that? If they say, well, I have to take him out 3 times a day because you need to burn off energy.
Advice, I mean, if it is a very high energy dog, it's their prerogative, really. But I also give them suggestions of indoor activities. They can do enrichment, sniffy games and puzzle toys and puzzle mats. And you can even do that with objects you have around your home. Like if you get an empty cardboard toilet roll holder, put a treat inside and fold up each end
Oh,
and give it to them. I do loads of them with Luna sometimes. Or if you get a towel and you scatter treats and you roll the towel up and treats in each layer of the roll. They love that. And we basic agility things in the garden that the dog can use, and you can get dog friendly bubbles. So there's loads and loads of stuff that you can do indoors and in your garden with your dog, and they're going to have more fun because
yeah.
it'll change up their day. It wouldn't be as repetitive. So I give the owners loads of suggestions of stuff that they can do instead if they are putting that much pressure on themselves.
I love that. I love that. I love the variety piece, because I often think that my dogs actually sort of they get more entertainment running around, and I've got this little trampoline, and the big girl, she loves jumping on that. So it's like they actually get more variety and more free play here than like on a walk where you always have to be. I've got 2 big dogs, so you can't just let them, scare all the other little dogs. And so they actually have a lot more freedom here. They get a
Yeah.
lot more exercise and a lot more free movement than they would if we walk outside.
Hmm.
So that they don't go outside, but it's just like not as kind of, not this kind of strict obligations of, oh, we've got to go 3 times a day kind of thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
Mm,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah. So where do you see yourself where do you see yourself and your business? Like, where you headed? Like, where do you see yourself in a couple of years, maybe?
A couple of years. In a couple of years, I would like to have my Substack fully take off and for it to be a good, stable income. I really, really like that. And reach out to more people and
Mm,
more dog owners, and hopefully, it's hard to describe, like dilute the misinformation that's online, like help do that. And I mean, it's a win-win all around. If I was able to make a stable income off that, I could work and travel at the same time. That's something I've always wanted to do, and I've
mm,
always been trying to come up with ideas. How can I work and travel? And I think this could be it.
mm.
So
So
that
tell
would
us a
be
little bit
nice.
about the Substack, because I mean, not, I mean,
Mhm.
I know what it is because that's where we met. So it's,
Yeah.
we're on the same platform there, but it's maybe not everybody listening might know what Substack is. Like, and that also answers the question where people can go and connect with you. So from that point of view, please go ahead and tell us a little bit about the Substack thing.
Yeah, so I do I think it's quite like a newsletter, a publishing platform. So I do a free post every Sunday. Um I do it on a range of topics between the dog training theory and training tips and advice. And every Wednesday, accidentally ended up creating mini courses, something I've always wanted to do, and that's what I've been
Oh,
doing all along every Wednesday. So every Wednesday I have a mini course that I try and keep quite short as to not overwhelm the reader. And in that I do a wee tracker sheet where they can record their dog's progress throughout the week. And then subscribers can contact me with any questions, video updates, one-to-one advice once a month. On Substack, I'm called Lead with Luna.
I love that. Yeah, and yes, do go ahead, follow her, because it's great content. So I'm a loyal follower. So yeah, we'll pop the link below in the show notes, obviously. So it's always going to be below if you're listening here or on YouTube. It's always going to be just right below the video, the link. Go and follow Lauren. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Is there somewhere else where people can go and find you, like a website, or like also where are you working locally? I don't think we actually said that.
Locally in Belfast,
Mm.
Northern Ireland. I work in mostly North and West Belfast.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And
Yes.
and we'll obviously stay in touch, and we'll see each other on
Yes,
on
definitely.
Substack, because I do think your mission, we definitely need that, have to dilute all the bullshit that's out there in the dog training world. So yeah, thanks for coming, and I'll hope to speak to you again soon.
Okay, thank you very much, Anka. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review so other dog lovers can find the show. If you haven't already, head over to soultouchedbydogs.com and sign up for weekly doggy cuteness, tips, recommendations, and personal stories to warm your dog-loving heart. And if you know a awesome human you think I should interview, I'd love an introduction. Email me at Anke, that's ANKE, @soultouchedbydogs.com.